somebody told me the lowest point total by an opponent in State Farm Center. Kyle Boswell continues to take the other team's really good players and make their life pretty challenging. He's done that 3 games in a row. But I thought Tommy, Ben, Merez, they were tremendous in their help and their support. We had a couple guys that we truly could just kind of muck up the game and clog the paint, and they do a good job with posting guards, and I thought we did an efficient job of taking that away, and really good job on the glass. But then we got offensively. I thought we had really good balance tonight, inside out. I thought we were efficient. I thought we got to our next actions, created opportunities. Again, I thought KJ and Kylan did a great job. Trey early of getting downhill. We talked about having some violent drives and getting downhill and playing off 2 feet. They're a team that had fouled a lot, but it was a good basketball team that we played tonight that had an off night, and I think we had something to do with that. But solid night.
Brad, as you mentioned, it seemed like there was an emphasis early to get it to the paint, off the bounce, and play off of that. What can that open up for you guys, even if you end up taking a 3 at the end of the day?
That's what we want. That's what we haven't been doing. We've just been settling, and we call it our next actions. It's the action after the ball screen, of seeing what the defense gave us and did to us. But the floor is spaced. We've got shooters. But they're a team that tries to block a lot of shots, and very similar to Alabama. We just did a much better job of executing, and we've spent more time on that. But now it pays off with a lot of free throw attempts, and that's what we're trying to be.
The former head coach Bruce Weber, he was in the house. What was it like to have him back? And do you have any memories of that 2005 team? I know you were Coach Ellsberg, but were you aware of what was going on in 2005?
Oh yeah, it was that was a very, very good team. And Bruce was at a school that I know very well, where I played at Kansas State, and has done just an unbelievable job throughout his career at Southern, and obviously a long time with Gene at Purdue. The coaching profession's a pretty small profession, and it's a great network. And Bruce is respected as one of the really good coaches in the history of college basketball. So now for the Big Ten to have him doing games in studios is it's refreshing. It's good for Illinois, because he was here. But he's fun to talk to. He's got great wisdom and a lot of memories of things that went on in here. I didn't remind him about the 33-point game that happened here, but I thought we were pretty good tonight with 34 points holding our opponent. But then I found out it wasn't the low point total. But I probably could have mentioned that on the air and had a little fun with him. But I'm sure that was a great game for the fans to watch.
Brad, the offense was sharp tonight. I just wanted to get your thoughts on just the intensity from the start.
It's funny, because I told our staff before the game I was a little worried. I thought we were a little flat, just kind of in the locker room. But again, I think that's where Kylan just gives us really good maturity, and I think Ben understands that. They know that team played Arkansas in the second half. They got down big early, they fought back and competed, and we talked a lot about how flat and just didn't play the right way against Maryland Eastern Shore, and so we had a good day of practice, and it was just a mental thing. So I think you can obviously tell we were sharp. You can look at our free throw shooting; we were sharp. And that's a tribute to the leadership that we're starting to develop on this team.
Brad, you often talk about not getting screened. It seems tonight they were much better being able to navigate those ball screens, getting over the top of them, getting through those screens without getting caught. What's been how's that worked for them? What's the transition like for those guys?
Yeah, it's hard. It's one of the hardest things to do is to avoid getting screened. And it's an anticipation, it's understanding and seeing the play, knowing what they're trying to accomplish. And then having some physicality to you, and it's again trying to force somebody into a hard two and not relaxing, knowing you can trust your teammate who's setting the screen, that if something happens, he's going to help you. So we've just gotten better at it, to be very honest. We emphasize it. It's who we are. Kylan, KJ do a great job of it. Trey was really good tonight. The first screen of the game, he got screened and gave up one. And after that, he was really good, just physical. And it's different than most teams play, but it allows us to be good and efficient.
Coach, KJ and Will both said that they don't really think of themselves as freshmen per se. I know Tomislav is technically a sophomore, but is this an atypical freshman class, or are they still working through freshman things to clean up?
They're still freshmen. I think it's good they don't think of themselves that. As we get into some of these games and schemes and scouting and the knowledge and understanding that other teams will have of us and what they will do, that some of that is new. It takes a little longer to learn things or to grasp things, whereas when you're a veteran, you just I've seen that. I know what to do. But they're very seasoned. They've all played a lot of elite level basketball. They've done it on world stages, and that's comforting. And they've all done it against really quality players. So there's no intimidation that the guy I'm going against is projected as a first round draft pick. They see that every night they play or against other pros. So that part of it, I think they're all pretty comfortable with. But just the knowledge and understanding of the college game, there's still some growth there.
KJ talked about the focus going into the game being defense, and I was just to have like 11 steals out of the 14 turnovers you faced. Is that a typically high ratio?
For us, my goodness, that might be a season's worth. I think we're pretty close to last in steals in the country. It's not what we do. It just happens that we were handsy tonight, and I thought again it was a lot of credit to Ben and Tommy early and Merez for clogging the paint up, for being active with their hands. Trey and Kylan both have really quick hands and the ability to get in there, and then Will's just long, so he gets his hands on quite a few, and KJ has been really active. I think he had 4 steals the other night. So we're getting better at it. That's a high number for us, and I wouldn't expect that every night, but we'll take what they give us.
Brad, KJ obviously he set the table tonight, but I thought the last couple of games he's been more aggressive offensively. Is there anything that you've just seen from him in practice that kind of led up to this?
Yeah, he's been trying to do that. KJ was a big scorer. KJ, but I think the first few games that, we saw in the first half at Alabama, where he was aggressive and the first few games he just kind of took what the defense gave us, and it was hard hedges, it was just getting the ball out of your hands, and he kind of lost a rhythm of scoring, and he was taking so few attempts, and kind of threw him off. He's a good shooter and kind of just didn't find his rhythm here for a minute, and he's gotten that back in practice, and that's the other piece. I mean, when he steps in and shoots it like that, to go with his size and strength, his ability to get downhill, his ability to draw fouls, and then spray it. We have 12 assists tonight between he and Kylan, and that's a great number from that spot from your ball handlers.
KJ gets his first tech. The bench almost seemed proud of him. Will says he doesn't show very much emotion. What do you think of that one?
Oh man, I want to hug him. I mean, you know, we're not encouraging those things, but you know, like one of the guys said, he's officially earned some street cred now. Yeah, he's very stoic. He doesn't say much. He doesn't get too emotional, but you know, I understand why they have to call it and do all that, but you know, that's one you just kind of, you know, glad to see he's got it in him.
Brad, you brought up Ben's mile time on Saturday on talking about the offensive pace. I guess, how did you assess the team's offensive pace today, and how does that carry forward into Arkansas?
You know, and I think it's one of those things where a lot of KJ's pace, you know, and it's not, you know, what I'm trying to get is we don't want to play faster than we're capable of making decisions. But yet we have to understand, and it's the little things, like if the wings run really hard and get to the corners, that creates space. If they just jog and get to the free throw line, that puts a defender there. So it's just little things. And you know, we talked about before the game, get to the corners. They're going to give you corner threes. I think we had 3 at half. And it's just a little thing that's really important. And I don't care what the play is, or KJ brings the ball up, or Kylan brings the ball up in a jog, you need to run. And so those are things that we're still working at getting better at. But tonight we were better than we had been.
A couple minutes in, you subbed Trey out, but you had 4 and 2, and you were yelling at him that was big time. I'm curious what you're seeing out of him maybe in these last couple of games that excites you.
Well, the 11 rebounds the other night were terrific, but it was more his playing to second actions, creating the other opportunities for himself. He got out and ran, got a layup. You know, he was a handler once and got it all the way to the rim and did it with great pace. You know, he doesn't have to be a guy that's in a lot of our actions. He wasn't, and I always go back to the Butler scrimmage. I think he was close to our leading scorer right there, and it was just cuts. It was shooting open shots. He missed a couple tonight, but it was, you know, his defense has gotten 100 times better. His rebounding, he's a very good offensive rebounder. You know, he can sneak his way to 10 or 12 points pretty easy, and I just, you know, feeling better with the way he's playing.
7 assists and only 1 turnover for Kylan, and this is a team that has turned people over. What'd you like about his facilitating?
It was just power. It was just strength. You know, it was just, you know, it wasn't just reckless and drive in there and jump off one leg. It was simple. You know, it's kind of the kiss there. You know, keep it. You know, just keeping the game simple, taking what it gives you, and getting fouled. I mean, he's a career 80% free throw shooter. We need him being fouled and putting stress on him, not just with, and now you get that duo with KJ. That sets up what I think can be a really good perimeter shooting team for other opportunities. So really proud of him tonight. He was very dialed in to his violent drives and his great rim decision making.
Stuff with Tomislav and Morez. I don't know if that's by design or what, but what'd you think of them together on the court at the same time, and how do they kind of complement each other?
Well, I think the one thing we knew tonight is they were going to double us with their 4-man. We're getting ready to see that against Northwestern in a league game, and so we needed to find out how Tommy would handle double teams and the passes out of them and what that looked like, and basically see if Tommy can facilitate offense. It's bringing 2 to the ball, and that's everything we're about on the offensive side. So can you make the right decisions? Can you read the things that you need to see and what the defense does? And I think he had 1 turnover, but he does it at a pretty high level, and then Morez can just, you know, power through some people.
This last one here from Scott.
Will kind of talked about how just in a game like this, it was important to kind of keep fighting, even though, you know, the lead was growing all the time. Just what is about this team where maybe they didn't get complacent and still pushed?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we talked about at halftime. It's our standard, and it's the, know the thrill of an all-out effort. And that all-out effort takes 40 minutes. It's not a 20-minute thing. It's not a do it when it's hard. It's do it and play to our standard. So it gets to be about playing against us and our execution and our intensity. And when we can do that, then this team has a chance to be really special. And so it was most of our halftime talk. And I would be very remiss. It was great to see Marcus Domask back in the State Farm Center tonight. And I tried to squeeze a uniform out on him, but man, what a great young man and a great representative of our university. And it was great to see him back.
Okay. Thank you.